your girl, Tiffany Nicole. Welcome to My Child is in Prison. Now what? So, are you that mother that feels alone? Are you that mother that's like, Tiffany, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm here. I'm trying to figure out life. You came to the right podcast. I am a mother of a child who's been incarcerated for over 5 years now. And with that being said, um, it's been a journey. It's been a journey here. And um, I'm having a couple issues right now. I'm sorry on my end, but it's okay. We're going to make this work. Um, so, yes, I have a guest today. Marquis is Monique's son, Monique Johnson. She was one of my guests on the show. She has a book out, Resilient. Was it Redemption to Resilient? What is it, Marquis? What's the name of the book?
It's I think you had it right. I can't even think of the name right now. I know I got a copy in here somewhere. I'm finna
Yes. Um, So, with that being said, this is my guest on today, and I'm super happy to have him on. Welcome to My Child is in Prison Now What podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today. How do you feel today?
thank you for having me. I feel good. It's a beautiful day, Sunday. Looking forward to getting into the topics and hoping that we could help somebody else that's going through what we went through.
Yes, it's being a yes, because your mom was a single mom raising you. It was raising you, and how many siblings did you have?
One at the time, but when I went to prison, she had another one. So, so three.
Okay,
She had three altogether
okay, three
by
altogether.
herself.
Okay. Um, yeah. So let's get into it. So with that being said, hold on, I'm having a little bit of difficulties right now. And I don't know why. I'm having a little, let me see. Hold on for a second. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, everybody. We're having a little challenging moment right now where the people on my live stream right now cannot get on. I'm getting messages right now. So give me a moment as I make this happen. I thought it was done, but it's not. But in the meantime, so Marcus, how long were you in prison?
14, almost 15 years.
Mm, that's a long time. So how did you cope with that?
My mentality was just dark at the time. Really, I was in a whole, my mind state was totally immature. I was fully engraved in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like a part of the process to me mentally, you know, just going through basically getting your stripes in the streets. It's a part of the stepping stones. So I really didn't take it serious until almost probably a couple years before I got released.
Okay.
But my
So
mind
you didn't
state
take
was
it
just,
serious. So when you were in there, you didn't take it serious.
yeah, because it's kind of like, I don't know how it is in every ghetto of LA, but I mean, LA ghetto around America, but in the streets of LA, it's kind of your older homies already preparing you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, you going through training, they telling you do your push-ups because everybody hate us. You're gonna be fighting in jail, so you better get ready to fight and making you fight. It's like you already going through training,
Mm. Okay.
and
So what was your mindset go? Like, how old were you when you went in?
I was 14.
You were 14. Oh my, you was a wow, 14.
Yeah, and I had just got out of camp, juvenile camp. Before that, I went to jail when I was like 12 and a half, 13, I think,
Uh-huh.
or 13 and a half.
Wow. So you were okay. Okay. So share like what made you want to like go down this way because you're so young and your mom is like an amazing mom. So like what shifted for you at 14? Like you should have been like, playing basketball, basketball camp, all that,
Yeah, it was just the
What was your
environment.
mindset?
Los Angeles is it's hard to get away from gangs. It's like everybody is affiliated. Everybody family is affiliated with Blood or Crip. My family too. Like they wasn't gang bangers, but they had associations. So it's like I'm already seeing that growing up. It just seemed like it's just even all my friends. when we first lived in Hawthorne before we moved to my neighborhood, it was my friends even like got gang. They wasn't claiming no exact hood or nothing, but they like be saying cousin blood. It's just like a culture thing in LA. It's always there. It's hard to avoid it. And honestly, I when I think about it today, I kind of was like not even wanting to join no gang. I never wanted to be a gang banger. Really, that my family was strong in the church, even though they got gang ties and stuff. That wasn't really glorified in my family.
Mm-hmm.
But just peers, it's peer pressures to friendships. I had friends that was already gang banging when they was like 12 when I was going to school, and they wasn't really influencing me to gang bang at first. To be honest, they were telling me to stay away. They saw something in me. They thought I was intelligent. Like they thought I was different. We was kind of doing different things. Even though they gang bang with me, they would be just on kid time. Like we would be skateboarding. Trying to go to the mall and chase girls, stuff like that. So
Right.
it just like, but as you hanging with gang bangers, you want to start kind of getting involved. It's kind of hard to avoid. They might see an enemy or something, and that's your friend. You're gonna get involved with them, and
Yeah,
then
no, I
just start.
get
I start, catching little fights and catching little cases, going to jail with them, and then after that, it's like you going to jail with dudes from a gang. They enemies are gonna automatically put you with them, even if you're not from nowhere. You still gonna have to fight. So it kind of just started being it just got like it just happened like that, just with my
right.
friends. And then when I got out of jail the first time, when I was 13, that's when it was just like, man, I'm in here fighting these dudes. I'm in here basically representing this gang. I might as well. And plus, I'm starting to smoke. I'm starting to just rebel against my mom a little bit.
Okay.
And
S- What caused a little rebellious?
once it's just that look like a boy thinking he a man.
Okay. Because my son was rebellious too. So go ahead. I'm listening. I'm listening. Like, what made you want to be rebellious
It's
against
just
your
in our.
mama?
I think it's just automatically in the black man's spirit to be rebellious. Honestly, maybe something
Okay.
from our ancestors or something. But we just got it. We miss God. We misdirected. We
Okay.
aim it at the wrong people. We rebel against the help, not realizing we rebelling against what's right for us. Looking, and then we get the looking for the opposite, looking for the opposite of the guidance you're trying to give us. Especially for me, it probably for every man, growing up with just a mother raising you, it's like you get to looking for that male influence, and that's in the streets. That's where it look like a real man is at. Like
Right.
these dudes out here having money, taking care of business, having girls, having it their way, looking like kings in the streets. It's like shoot, that's what you want to be,
That is true.
and nobody really giving you. Nobody telling you about the successful squares that ain't got to worry about looking over their shoulders and ain't got to worry about prison or the police or somebody coming to take the money that they just took from somebody,
Hmm.
Nobody telling you about the successful squares. You hearing about the successful thugs, even though they success only lasts like 2 years, maybe at the most.
Right. That's true. That's true. You're what you're saying sounds a little bit like how my son be talking to me, so that's why I can relate to that. So let's fast forward to where you are now. How many children do you have?
Two,
Okay,
two
two boys.
boys, yeah,
What are the ages?
3 and 4.
3 and 4. Okay, daddy. Okay, daddy of the year. How does that feel?
It's good. It's stressful. But it's great. It's like every day I'll be happy to hear them just playing around, come wake me up, trying to make food. All the headaches is happiness, really.
Good, good, good. So okay, so you you weren't in prison when they was when right when they were born, right? You
No,
were free.
yeah, I've been out since 2016.
Okay, 2016 you've been out. Okay, good. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, 2016 you've been out. Okay, perfect. Okay, and how does it feel being a father and that you've been incarcerated yourself? What are the things that you're going to teach your kids to break that generational curse?
I'm gonna teach them, about really just about the world and what's to look out for, like, and just as I feel like a man is supposed to teach their kids the hard part of life, basically, like
Mhm.
thinking about the future, saving money, thinking about your education, all the important things, thinking about setting up a savings account, a trust fund, things like that. I want to just teach them about how to think for the future, career, what they and just and I want to see what their interests are early and try to hone in on that. Like if they got an interest in math or science or sports or whatever it is, I'm gonna just try to focus on that, invest in it, whatever programs I gotta put them in.
Okay. Any programs you got to put on? That's good. Okay. So, do you think your approach will be different from your mother's approach from your
Uh,
boys not going incarcerated versus you?
most definitely because I'm gonna deal. I'm a man, so I'm just gonna be different just based on that. I'm
Okay.
gonna be a little harder. I'm gonna let a lot more go. I noticed that even with their mother, she let a lot. I mean, she don't let a lot. Like everything kind of get under her skin with them. I just kind of it remind me of my mom. Like she didn't have that much patience. It's kind of hard to be patient when you're doing it by yourself and working. So I feel like I don't got that much patience either, but
Mhm.
I definitely am more of a let me see what happened. I kind of go with the flow. I'll sit back and see what like let me see what he gonna do. Let me see what this lead into because I want them to discover themselves. I feel like when you kind of stopping them and more nervous about what they're doing, it kind of like hold them back
Okay. Okay, you feel okay. So, you feel it holds them back. Why do you feel it holds them back?
because it start just putting in that fear. That's where it start. They don't know fear yet. They free. They free the mind. They'll jump off a building if you allow them to.
Right, right, right,
So
right.
it's like you kind of it's certain things you do want to put barriers on, but at the same time, the imagination is something we kind of start losing as we get older. I notice a lot. So I don't want them to lose that. That's where the creativity is, and I want them to be leaders. I don't want them to just fall in line.
Right.
I feel like that's where a lot of the gang influence come in too. When you just lost and you trying to you looking for something, you feel like everything that you figuring out is like not the right thing because people telling you no, don't do that. You start kind of looking for guidance in other places. So I just want to
So,
always
that's
communicate.
perfect. So, do you think for cuz majority of the people that listen are mostly mamas. So, do you think mothers try to play that role of a father, but the little boy that you were back then, you saw your mama, but do you think the impact wasn't strong enough because it was your mama?
No, I
Do
don't believe that. I believe that you going. I believe that your path is your path, no matter what. I feel like nothing can stop it if it's good or bad. If you had two parents, I feel like the outcome would still be the same. To be honest, it's all on the child's mind state because you could have two parents in the home, and one parent could be busy, and it's still like they got one parent.
Right. But I still feel like a man's presence is it's
Yeah,
more impact.
I feel
It's
like
I feel like a man in the household can still shift that path
yeah, for sure, because it's gonna
because
take pressure off of you, and it's gonna you got the balance there. I feel like a two-parent household, or just I feel like it's a team effort no matter what. If you got one parent, you're gonna still need a part. You still gonna need help raising that child. You're gonna need. It's just the reason I don't. I definitely feel like you need a man, but I just know that not every household is gonna get that. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. That's just not how life is. It's gonna be one parent most of the time, and that's how life has been going for so long.
no, I mean I agree. I agree with that too. Like it is, but sometimes I do believe that there's permissive will and then there's God's will. Permissive will is you can do whatever you do whatever you want, but then it's God's will. So I believe sometimes if you would have just listened to the mama, you might have not been down this road. Because you can have two kids in a household. Timmy don't go to prison, but Malcolm does. But they came from the same household, same mama. So what was it different? You know what I'm saying? Like I always wonder. I just feel like I know your path is your path, but I still feel like God gives us free will and we just make a decision to not listen.
Yeah, for sure. You could definitely step off of your path. That's the free will.
Yeah.
But I just feel like you said, the free will, it's on you. The path is still gonna be there when it's said and done. You could choose to go down it or you could deviate. But definitely, especially in this day and age, you need. I agree. You need a strong male role model. But the reason I don't say father is just like I said, that's not always gonna be. I don't see that too often nowadays. I wish I did,
Okay.
but you don't see complete households nowadays. So I feel like you got to lean more on your village than anything.
Okay. Okay. So what's the advice that you give mamas who don't have um that male figure in the household?
So work on that first off.
Uh-huh.
Work on completing your home because a house should be complete, especially if you got a family without and there's only one parent. That's an incomplete home. So you should definitely work on that, but also understand that that's missing. You can't replace it by yourself. You can't replace it you because that's just impossible. But you can definitely pay. You gonna have to pay closer attention. Like you gonna have to be with two parents. You gonna have to be that. You gonna have to pay attention on the mother's side and the father's side. Look for things that a man would look for. Look for the signs and don't try to. When you approach them, you can't just if they already on knucklehead status and rebelling. You you can't just come with you need to do this. You can't. That's not gonna work. You
Yeah.
gotta level with them. It's just communication. That's what I believe. I ain't even been in that situation yet, but that's what I believe. My mama did that, but like I said, it's the path and the way my path worked. It was just it wasn't like I wanted it. It wasn't like I was looking for it. It was kind of how the dice rolled.
So what do you say to that mama that feels guilty that her son or daughter is in prison because she thought she checked all the boxes off,
The
but
same thing I
unfortunately
told
they
my
child.
mama.
Go
Well, this is
ahead.
what I tell my mom all the time. Like it's definitely not your fault. It's it's definitely it's just
So how
you
do we
know
let go of that guilt? Because we hear that a lot. Like you're like the fourth person I've interviewed, it's a male, and they say it's not my mama's fault. But there's so many mothers that say it's my fault.
it might be some mother's fault though, but if you I don't believe it is. I believe I see some mothers that's terrible though. I'm not gonna lie. It's some mothers who it probably was their fault. But
Right.
a lot. I know a lot of women that they doing everything they can, and your all just not enough. When it's said and done, it's just not enough. You gotta. But that's why I said starting young, even with my kids, just planting those seeds and showing them the life of a successful square. The internet and stuff starts showing you these street dudes and like it lied to you. It's really a lie because it's not too many successful street dudes. It's jail or death. That's the end of it. And
Right.
then even if you get away, it's karma after that. I see a lot of dudes get away for a long time and then something happened to them out of nowhere. So it's just like it. But when you're doing what you're supposed to do, life just goes according. It goes how it goes. You get what you put in.
Right. Right. So to that mother that feels guilty, did you hear what he said? Y'all, we gotta let that guilt go. Mothers, we feel like we can do it all, like we Shira, Superwoman's, Wonder Woman, and we carrying that cape of guilt. We wear that guilt cape, and listen to what he's saying. He's saying it's not your fault. Some mamas, he said, but that's different. We ain't talking about the mamas. But for the mamas that's listening, that put Timmy, Malcolm, Jeremy in boot camp and basketball camp, ballerina lessons, cheerleading practice, and was home every day, and your child still ended up in prison, it's not your fault. And so let's talk about this topic. When you got out of prison, what do you think? What's a better choices? I'm not going to say make a mistake. What choices should mothers take when it comes to when their child is released, the steps they should take. Like my son's coming home pretty soon. I don't want to be that mama that's going to overwhelm him and still continue to hold his hand. How do I no longer hold his hand?
I think my mom did a pretty good job when I think back. She kind of just put everything on the table for me, the options. Like you can stay here. It's basically the same as when I was young. You know, as long when you're doing right, you're going to school, taking care of business. You can stay here, help out around the house until you figure it out. You know, and then but you just gotta you just can't. I just knew I can't take advantage of that. That's why I left early too. I'm like, I do gotta I gotta let it go as a man. You know, I was left as a child, but it's over now. It's like I'm a man now, so the world not gonna take it easy on me. I gotta figure it out. And she helped me, you know, showed me, gave me direction, to giving me good insight on colleges to apply for and things you know, just stuff I can apply for to help and get aid while I'm doing it. Help with a license, just all the important stuff. To, you know, making sure I know how to drive, things
Okay, so
like
she
that.
gave you the foundation. So that's what you're saying for mothers to just give the foundation, but not what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe coddle y'all too much as a grown man. Like she just
Yeah,
gave you the foundation, and then you went from there. Is that what I'm hearing?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And you gotta understand the man that did a lot of time in prison, he know how to adapt already anyway. He a survivor
Hmm.
because your mind gotta be strong to survive in there and not go to, you know, relying on drugs or the psych ward or none of that. So he already strong. He know how to adapt. He just gotta get the rhythm going.
The rhythm. I love that. Okay, let's talk about this rhythm. So what's the first rhythm that you do when you get out?
Keep your program that you had in there. Wake
Okay.
up, read, pray, work out,
Okay.
start applying for stuff. Have a set schedule. You know, have your reading schedule, your writing schedule, your workout time, the time you're gonna network if you want to content creating, the time you're gonna jump on and, you know, get in people's chat and all of that, and or if you're gonna write, you gotta just set a schedule and try not to catch up. Try not to get caught up on catching up because that's what I did. I made a lot of mistakes when I first got out,
Hmm.
trying to catch up, still being young, feeling like, you know, I want to go party and hang out. That stuff just kind of was a setback. It ended up kind of holding me back, and I started missing opportunities. And I realized like it's not even worth it to try to catch up to all of that.
So you was trying to play catch up for the time that you lost.
Yeah,
Okay. So that was a rhythm that got you off rhythm for a little bit. Was
yeah,
trying to
for
play catch up
sure.
with your friends and then some females. So do you think it's going to be harder for people like my son, or maybe not harder, maybe a challenge because now we have TikTok, we have all the social media, and when you got out, we didn't have all that, right? What was when you got out? What was it? Snapchat, probably.
Yeah, yeah, it was Instagram and Facebook and all that,
Okay,
YouTube, but it was just like I kind of always have phases where I like get off of everything for like a year straight,
okay,
and I'm because it's easy for me to do that because I didn't grow up with it, so I could just kind of even now, like right now, I'm kind of been stuck back in it because there's so much stuff going on.
hmm,
So I've been kind of like caught up in it, but it's times where I know I gotta like let me cut everything off, don't pay attention, and just let me lock in on me. Start writing and writing out my goals, writing out my ideas, or even just sometimes I even just say it out loud, record it, talk to myself.
right, right. Okay, that's what I'm wondering. Like, I'm wondering, like, you know, because social media is not the same like it was when you got out. Now it's sometimes it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
So with the rhythm that you have is your mom laid the foundation and you ran with it. And then you got a little bit distracted, which can we be honest that you're human? You've been in prison for
Hmm.
14 years. So if you see somebody with a big booty, you're gonna get distracted. Let's just be honest. That's just
Yeah.
you are a man. So
Yeah, just life in general too, just cars, everything. You see, and
yeah.
then a lot of these young dudes, like my young homies, they having money like that we wasn't having when I was a kid. I'm like,
Right.
dang, they doing different things. So it's real tempting to get right back into it. But I know, you know, next week I'm gonna see dude in jail or something, you know?
Right. So what keeps you focused? Like for you not to get distracted, for you to stay with the rhythm that you on, the beat that you have? What keeps you just like grounded where there's people that go to prison and they end up going back? Right? Because you ain't been back. What keeps you on a straight and narrow?
The kids.
Okay.
If it wasn't for them, to be honest, no, if it wasn't for them, cause I was crashing out like right before they came, to be honest.
Okay.
So that's how, me personally, I feel like God just always snatched me at the right time. Like that's how it all, even jail.
Hmm.
It's like cause I'll be in a snowball effect. Like as soon as I get on that dark path, it'd be a snowball effect. I'm like, oh, I got away with this. Let me get away with this. You know, because it's easy once you've been living that way since like me as a child since 13. So yeah, as soon as that happened, it was just a lot going on in my life I was taking steps backward, totally backwards. Like I was losing everything I worked for, just having that feeling like, man, I did all this time in prison. Like, man, I'm owed something. Like, man, but I don't, ain't nobody owe me nothing. I did that to myself. I did the crime, you do the time. You got to remind yourself of that too. So
Right.
yeah, but once they came, they like snapped me in my tracks. I'm like, oh shoot, everything is over. Focus, get back focused again.
Right. No, that's true. That's true. That's good. Okay, so what I'm hearing is you got the rhythm, you got the foundation, you got that rhythm going, and then you got off track for a little bit. Then you know, the kids came, and you was like, you know what? Let me get my stuff together, and that's your passion and your drive now for you not to go off track. So, what do you
Mm-hmm.
tell someone that's listening to this, who may be off track right now, who just got out, and they right now they may be going left, they may go in another direction. A mother can play this episode to their son who's out, but she sees him, he could be possibly going back down that path of where he could go back to prison.
It might seem like it's worth it at the time, but it's so minute. It's a temporary fix. It's like that joy you seeking right there is so small. It ain't gonna be worth it when you look back and you look at the time you wasted and the money you spent. You're gonna be regretting it. You're gonna be like, dang, I could have put that time in on my passion on what I'm trying to do.
Right.
Excuse me. But at the same time, it's not bad to enjoy yourself. Definitely enjoy your freedom, but just don't get don't get sucked in. Don't get sucked into your old path when you know the outcome, especially when you already done met one of those outcomes. You seen, like me personally, I look up and I see all my friends gone in prison for life, dead, or or on crack or crystal, smoked out. And it's like, dang, I'm like the last one standing. So I'm just like,
Wow.
I'm not. I'm trying to. I know. I got to do something different. I can't
Oh,
play with it. I can't
wow.
keep straddling the fence.
And you had a praying mama and a praying grandma. I know your grandma.
Yeah, for sure.
You
I
had it,
say that every day. That's why I pray for mine every day.
your grandma and your mom, some praying, powerful women, and you have a mama that be quoting them scriptures left and right, and your grandma be right there with her.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
Definitely
good.
got some prayer soldiers. I think about that all the time. I don't even get in the car without praying.
Praise God. Look at that. Okay. So, do you think prison saved your life?
It changed my life for sure.
Okay.
I ain't
But
gonna
if you
say it
think if you didn't
saved
go
my
to
life.
prison, you wouldn't be here for your
No, I
lifestyle, or
probably
you
would.
think you'd be
No, I wouldn't be here for sure. I know I wouldn't,
okay.
because I was terrible.
You was living reckless.
Yeah, or I would have had way more time in prison.
Okay.
I was definitely like how they say these YNs are.
Uh huh.
Yeah, that was me. I was a YN. Like that's basically how, I was carefree.
That's how my son is. That's how he was too back then.
Yeah,
So I just want to know your intake. Like, do you think prison saved you and changed you into be a better person you are today?
yeah, definitely. I hate to give prison credit because that's a terrible place.
I know. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, I didn't use it as a prison. I ain't gonna say prison. I'm gonna say my mentality did, the prayer soldiers, the prayer
Okay.
warriors, the my family for sure staying on my head, and just the mentality that my mother got. I took that in prison and just thought about her when I was a child, always taking me to school with her when she was hustling, going to work in college. I'm just like, man, I could go to college in here. I got to turn this place into a university. That's how I look. That's just how I looked at prison. I gotta just study. Like there's nothing else to do but study or get into somebody else's business. I've never been the type to get in nobody else's business. So I'm just
And you mentioned
studying.
your mom's mentality. What mentality was that?
Just work for it, go after it. Don't if you
Okay.
think about it, do it. Don't talk about it.
Okay.
And that's probably why, like I said earlier, where she was when I said we be brainstorming a lot, because that's her mentality. When you talk about it, it's done. Like we doing it, you
Okay.
know.
You really do have like a story to overcome, like 14 years. You got off track for a little bit. You got back on the rhythm. And now you're raising two beautiful young boys. And you set an example. You're working. And you do, you're a writer. Do you want to talk about that?
Yes, I've been kind of slacking on it lately, but I do got a website that I uploaded a few short stories and like little essays and stuff.
Hmm.
But I'm trying to get back into that full fledged. I've been recently working on little shorts again. That's my goal, to get some little shorts on YouTube, short
Okay.
movies.
That's good. Some short. Okay. So you're writing some movies, a little short, like, what do you call it in the movie world? Not short films.
Yeah, just short. That's why I just call it shorts or short
Okay, short
films,
film. Okay, but
like
that's what
little
you do on
3 to
up. You
5 minute
upload.
films.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So your main goal is to, what's the dream right now? I know you're working right now, but what's the end game of the dream?
should have a studio production company really.
Let's listen, Marquis. You better speak this into existence. You know you got a praying mom and a praying grandmama.
Yeah, for
So that's the
real.
end game. And then you
Hmm.
do something with the youth too. What's
Yeah,
going on with
most
the youth?
definitely. That's always gonna be involved. Yeah, that's even with the that's why that's my dream, because that's what I wanted to work on, having kids, getting them into acting, working on
Hmm.
their talents early. I
And then
feel
you
like
helping the young people for them not to stray your path.
yeah, I mean I got bigger dreams than that. Like I want to do schools one day, of course. You know, I want to. That's really my main thing, is like just educating the kids, not just with the normal, school, high school literature, elementary, just straight to college curriculum. Like I feel like they need to start learning that early, especially the way the world moving now.
I know with
Everything is
AI and
fast.
everything going
Kids
on. Yes,
they come out grabbing a tablet immediately.
they do.
They need to start. We need to, go straight to college. But I feel like with these kids now,
No, you're right. Come out the room. Stop. They know how to face. They know how to FaceTime, which app to click on, which button to push, tap, screen, all that. These kids is very advanced when they come out. You're
we
right.
was just doing this where I came from.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I do want to salute you and give you your kudos for this, for what you're doing. Like, you overcame a lot of things because I'm like you just said, you have friends who went to prison and they not doing what you're doing. So that's a blessing that your mindset shifted and that your kids came in and now you like a dad of, like, you said you're literally leading by example for your boys.
Yeah,
So that's
in the Bible it say you can't serve two gods.
mhm.
That's how I look at it. Like with my kids, it's like if I love them, I can't love the streets. You know what I'm saying? You can't have both. Cause like I know if I'm doing what I was doing in the streets, I'm basically like playing Russian roulette every day. It's like
Wow.
so
Did y'all
I'm
hear
a
what he said? He said, do y'all know in the Bible where that scripture what? He dropping some wisdom on this pod right now, on this episode. He said he cannot have two masters, the streets or his kids. And y'all, he is choosing his kids. It's
yeah, for
playing Russian
sure.
roulette. You so right, it is. Because if you in them streets, you could go back or you could be at the graveyard and your kids both ways is gonna miss out on having an opportunity to be with their father.
And it's like for what? Reputation? Your kids can't eat off no reputation.
You so right. I love that. I love how you just dropped that. I love that. For y'all that's listening, from my mamas that have sons that are out and you feel like they could go back, have them listen to this episode. Because Marquise is Compton, right?
LA, South Central.
Yeah. And that's the hood. I don't like, for real, let's be honest. And he made it out and now look at him, and his mama made it out. So for y'all that want to live that lifestyle, he's saying it's not worth it, right?
Nah, it ain't worth it. Let y'all know something I don't know. It ain't worth it.
Yeah, he said, unless you don't know something I don't know, it ain't worth it. Young people that's listening to this, it ain't worth it. He's been there, done that, and now he's out, and now he's doing his thing. And Marquise, I truly appreciate you joining me on this episode, and I want you to leave something for the mother that is struggling with guilt and she still feels stuck. What do you really want to tell her to let her know that it's not her fault? I want her to hear from you.
If you doing everything in your power as a parent to be there and guide them and plant seed, it's not your fault. You did everything you can do. You did everything that God asked you to do. There's literally nothing you can do except continue to plant seed and pray and be an example. Even with who you deal with, even with the men you deal with, make sure they understand that they got to be an example.
And what about to that mother that is still coddling her 30-year-old son or daughter? What do you say to her?
My mama was ready to let me go at like 13. You tripping? Nah, you better. Nah, you gotta definitely. The world not gonna handle your baby the way you are. So if you go today, that child gonna be lost. So that they gotta get firsthand experience as a man. That's the only way. Experience is the best teacher. Really, the only teacher.
That's true. It's true. It's true, y'all. Listen, mamas, I know this journey is hard. I know the struggle is real, but we have Marquis on here, and he was formerly incarcerated for over 14 years. Now he's out, and he's doing his thing, raising two beautiful young boys. And like I'm gonna keep saying, y'all, he is leading by example. And listen, we not gonna see him only one time on this podcast because he gonna come back and he gonna have his own production company, and then I don't be in his podcast. I don't be in his studio, sit down in his studio, talking to him about how he overcame so many obstacles on raising kids, on having a job, and still pushing his dream on the side. Because that's a lot. Having kids, going work your regular job, and then you have a dream on the side.
Yeah, it be time for that dream could start getting a little cloudy.
Yeah,
But I gotta keep on stuff like this. It's like a sign from God. Like God telling you, like I'm still working with you. I know you gotta make time, but I'm still working with you. I'm gonna keep that in the back of your mind.
I love that for you. You guys, thank you so much for joining this episode. My Child is in Prison Now What podcast. I want to thank you, Marquise, for coming on and joining me on this show. And I just want to say I appreciate you for being here with us
Oh, no
again.
fault.
Again, you guys, welcome to this. I just want to say thank you. If you guys love this episode, please leave a review. Go to Apple Podcast and go to Spotify. Please write reviews because the more you guys comment, the more the algorithm is going to pick it up. The more they're going to say there's going to be more. There needs to be more conversation about mothers having kids in prison, and I want to push this out. So again, you guys, please write in the comments. Please leave a 5-star review and share this and write comments on my YouTube channel as well. Again, it's your girl, Tiffany Nicole. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a good one. Okay. Okay. So we had an issue
Yeah, everybody blowing me up right now, so I'm trying to figure out like what.
because for some reason it didn't upload to YouTube, but I can upload it to YouTube right now once we're done talking. So I can upload it. It's just the live session wasn't live, but right when we hang up, I'm going to upload it to YouTube.
That's what I